What's up, everybody? So another custom video home tour. This home right in back of me, you guys remember this home. The last time we were here, it was just nothing but frame, and we were walking with the owner at that time and also builder broker of Trust Real Estate, Michael Johnson. So let's go take a look at this home and let's see the finishings on this home, because this thing is unbelievable. So as you can see, they did the pavers here, did the stacked stone. Obviously, this is a corner lot here on the lakes. All right, let's go inside. Let's see what's going on. So you got some nice lighting going on. You got some rock. So as we come in, we are here in this little courtyard area. What's nice about the courtyard, you have the garage that you have an entry to. You have a room that you can come into, the slide into the main house. All right, come on in. Michael.
How's it going?
What's up, buddy?
Good to see
you. So
you.
you guys remember Michael Johnson, Trust Real Estate owner and broker. And this is his project, one of his projects here in the lakes. So he's going to show us around, show us all the features, right?
Yeah, that's right. Lake Las Vegas.
Oh, Lake Las Vegas. What did I say?
The lakes.
The lakes. What am I saying? The lakes. Y'all know what I meant.
Stuck
Lake Las
in the
Vegas.
90s, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So open floor plan.
Yeah. Yep. So we did the framing walk with you, I think, in July or August of 21. At that time, it was pending with a buyer.
Yep.
Pre-sale, and we let him do a lot of customization. Which kind of protracted the timeline a little bit. We added some doors, additional doors. We let him add the pool. And then he lived here for about 6 months and he got relocated up to Washington State. So now he's enlisted me to help him sell it.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah, so pretty much as it was. We did add a couple of things. I changed out the flooring and stuff because I let him pick those items, and I thought this flooring was a little bit more marketable.
Okay.
We did that, and then in the 6 months, I had to repaint the home just because I wanted it to play more like a new construction, because he was only here for 6 months.
All right, so let's start from the beginning. We are here in Lake Las Vegas. What's the name of this community?
This is called Barcelona. So we're in Barcelona, which is a village within South Shore Country Club, which is a country club within Lake Las Vegas.
Okay.
So you do have the guard gated HOA, which is I think $333 a month because it's paid quarterly.
Yeah.
And then you have your master HOA for Lake Las Vegas. You don't have an HOA fee for Barcelona. Those are really just themes of neighborhoods. So they'll call it Barcelona as a village. Different setbacks, different architectural styles, different size requirements versus other communities. Okay. So I've got 4 other projects out here in various villages. And they each have their own rules and regulations.
So square footage, bedrooms and bathrooms.
So it's just a little over 3,000 square feet. It's like 3,005 square feet, which was not a mistake when I was designing the home. I wanted to cross that threshold. I had a really tight building envelope, so I squeezed as much as I possibly could out of it. 4 bedrooms, 3 full bathrooms, and a half bath.
Okay.
Yep.
So what was the whole concept behind all this right here?
So as basically a semi-custom or custom builder, I wanted to leave as much room for customization as possible while still delivering on the timeline. So obviously the outside was set in stone. The inside I left more as a blank canvas. A decent standard, but definitely not this configuration. So he did add about $300,000 with me above and beyond, including the pool. We expanded this kitchen layout. We added that wine chiller that's on its own mini split. I let him pick his own cabinetry out, so he wasn't pigeonholed into this is my one vendor like a track builder would. Yeah. You have to go to this design center. Same with the flooring. Go wherever. If you see a floor you like at Floor & Decor, which is what happened, we'll buy it there and we'll install it. Okay. I have a certain dollar amount for that. If you go over that, it'll add to your purchase price. If you go under it, that's for me. Okay.
You simplify it.
I try to simplify it, and I do as much as I can for customization, because I know if it were me and I were on the other side of that, I would want the customization, if at all possible. And you've been in the business long enough to know sometimes these big builders just say no to say no because it's their policy, even though it's possible. And that's what really, I always loved construction, but that's what really pushed me into it. It's like, I know there's a better way, and I'll never scale to that big. But as long as I am this size and I can make those changes, and deliver a home that is more tailor-made, that's what I want to do.
Can you show me?
That's my passion.
Can you show me all your upgrades here that you did?
So, like I said, it was really a blank canvas. It would have been a dollar amount for cabinetry, which I think was like $30,000. He ended up at 110.
Just for the cabinets?
Floating vanities. He did. These aren't double stacked. These are actually 54-inch uppers. So there's a lot of extras in the kitchen design that forced it into like a custom cabinetry.
So what kind of cabinets are these here?
So these are locally made.
Okay.
Actually, when I say locally, I should say regionally. They're from Utah.
Okay.
They're metal boxes, metal drawer boxes, I'm sorry, plywood frames, and then these are a melamine door front.
Okay.
Of course, all soft close, but you can see the customization. It's not only a full overlay, but even the fillers are door flush instead of back. You can spot it.
Yeah,
if you're savvy
it's
enough.
clean and straight.
And that's
Love it.
Really the look he was going for. We can accomplish a really, really similar look to this for about half of that.
Yeah.
But if you insist on like a 54-inch upper versus a 42 plus a double stack, this is the only way. We got to go full custom. And those are the things that he wanted. And if we can accommodate that, and I had a vendor for him, and I said the first $30,000, because I know I can cabinet this home for $30,000, so that's your budget. If you go over, fine.
Will he get his money back for something like this?
I hope so.
Okay.
I really hope so. I personally, on my specs, the other ones, like we'll go to see one that's being framed up, I would not do it.
Okay.
I think you're kind of chasing diminishing returns, because at the end of the day, the average buyer is going to be wowed by this versus double stack.
Yeah.
This versus maybe the fillers are not fully, those are things that only true housing nerds would notice.
Yeah.
And the average buyer, especially sub 5 million or even 3 million, is not going to value that difference. It's not that it's not appreciated, but they're definitely not going to value it. What we have working for us right now is that we're really the only new construction in South Shore for this property. This is a 2021 construction year, maybe 22. I'll have to check the county because we got our building final in the last 7 days of December in 21.
Wow.
So it's basically a 2022 year built home, lived in for 6 months. I think it'll come back, but I think we would have gotten the same dollar amount just because of that.
Got it.
A very rare commodity to be in South Shore and new construction.
Okay.
Other things, did the whole Thermador package. So again, I just gave him like, and you and I might say that's a paltry dollar amount, but I said $7,500. Anything over $7,500, it's on you. Because I wanted to keep the base price low enough for somebody who doesn't value $35,000 worth of appliances, and would be fine with a KitchenAid cooktop or a KitchenAid 36-inch slide-in with the hood. I wanted to give that buyer the option, and you got to start somewhere. So although I cringed when I told him the base, the budget for the appliances, he understood.
Yeah.
So he upgraded to the 48-inch Thermador, the Thermador package really, the under counter microwave, drawer, Thermador dishwasher, and then a 54. Those are two Thermador columns.
And I think a home at this magnitude, especially when you go custom, I think you got to go 48 inches.
100%.
Yeah.
So on my specs, obviously the market is a lot different. When I listed this in April as a shell, I had, I think, 7 offers, right? I had 7 interested parties, and I chose this guy just because we clicked and we really got along. And I knew I'm going to be working with this guy for the next 7 months to finish his home. And although everyone was coming in at the same price, there was that personal aspect to it. However, on the other projects I'm doing, I'm having to make those decisions now because it's just there's not the same interest that there was for a product like this. Plus, this was listed at $995 back then.
Wow.
Which admittedly seems cheap, but when I bought the land in 2020, that was my target. I was, I'm going to build a $1 million home. I'm going to build to the $1 million mark. And of course, the market went nuts from July 2020 when I closed on the lot to even when I listed it in April 21.
So what's going on with this display?
This is a wine room. So he insisted on a mirror background.
Okay.
And with a mirror background, even our girl at Las Vegas said, I don't want to drill into that.
Yeah.
So I had to improvise and do a wine stand and let the new buyer maybe get some custom racks that can go ceiling to floor or something like that. So.
Wait, did you say you're doing business with Las Vegas?
Absolutely, who wouldn't?
You see that? Remember that, Nicole? See that? The power of social media.
She does all my shower enclosures.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know her before I did this, but
yeah.
And she's bidding out some windows and stuff on some of the other projects. So
okay.
For sure, doors and things like that. What else? So I did the 15 by 30 large format tile throughout the whole house except carpet in the bedrooms. I did get a little creative in the bathrooms, and those are a different look, but still a large format, still a really nice product. Out here, Rim Flow Spa, Pebble Fina, 3 shear descents, 5 shear descents, fire bowls, all the cool decking. I'm in love with the view of the mountains from here, which I didn't spot. I was telling you earlier before the camera started rolling, when I bought the land, there were trees all around the entire border that looked just like that. And someone who shall remain nameless went and chopped them all down, asking for forgiveness rather than permission. But once they came down, after the HOA, sent out the firing squad, once they came down, I could really appreciate this view. And it is really stunning.
Now, this pool, a pool like this, how much does something like this cost to build?
This was about $130,000.
Are you going to get your money back for something like this if somebody built the pool? Because it's pretty linear, right?
It is, and I never envisioned this home to have a pool.
Yeah.
When I laid it out, and again, wanting to squeeze as much square footage out of our building envelope as possible, I never envisioned it because I just didn't see how it would play. Now I get it. I mean, I think it works. And I also think, looking at the target demographic, you're selling to somebody who probably doesn't need a lot of space. The average home in South Shore is around 4,800 square feet. This is 3,000. You're probably just playing to that market that if they don't need a lot of space in here, they probably don't need a lot of space in here. This might be a second home. Definitely, I shouldn't say definitely, but generally probably a retiree, empty nester, that type of thing. So now that I see it, I kind of appreciate it. And I'm glad he opted for it. Now, will he get the 130 back? I don't know. As you know, pool construction costs have really spiraled. Just stupid things like PVC piping has tripled in the last 18 months. So all the components that go into a pool have gotten more expensive. We did this. I can do pools as an owner-builder through my building company. So we're licensed general contractors. Pool contracting is a different business if you're doing it for hire, right? But if I own the parcel, I can pull it as an owner-builder.
When we go check out your $2.5 million spec that you're putting together,
Yeah.
I would tell you where to put the pool.
Okay, you can be my tiebreaker. And you'll indemnify me against any losses?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
We have 2 other witnesses here.
So let's talk about the lot size on here, because the footprint is a little bit narrow here on this side, right?
It is. So this is actually a big lot because I own all the way to that, or he owns all the way to that curb. But the HOA, we can actually walk over here and take a look at it. The HOA setbacks on the side and back go from the top of the slope. So they don't care that I own all the way from here down to that curb. All they cared about was this.
Oh, wow.
So I went back to the drawing board on this house no fewer than 5 times, maybe 6, because my plan was I had to do a single story on this. There's certain lots in here where you have to go single. I knew I had to do single story. I knew that the average size of a home in South Shore is over 4,500. So I wanted to be more, closer to 3,700, and I couldn't get there with the envelope. So my plan was, I'll just do a retaining wall and I'll just, build this out and squeeze a little bit of space over here. Maybe not all the way back here, but certainly over here I could have done more room and had a wider home and had, fit to the city setbacks, which would have been roughly where that fence down there is. Not that I would have gone that far, but I thought at the time I had that much space. And when you go to submit to the HOA, even though the building envelope says you have that as well, they'll kick it back because they have full executive authority.
So it sounds like you have a lot of challenges when you're buying in a master plan community just like this. Number 1, it's the HOA. Number 2, it's the county that you got to get approved. Also, you got to check the land survey.
Logistically, the cost of doing that retaining wall, that's probably a $60,000 ordeal, if not more. The engineering and the cost to shore up all that space. So you also have the fiscal constraints to say, oh shoot, is it really worth the extra 600 square feet?
Yes.
Because it's going to cost me not only the cost to build the 600 square feet, but I have to, flatten out the land and do those other aspects, which you run into anywhere. So it's just one extra layer of complication. And then you'll have certain things, it has to be single story or max ridge height. Even on this, the max ridge height could only be like 27 feet off the ground. So the highest peak of the highest roof could only be 27. But the roof pitches had to be a minimum of 4 over 12. So that tells you
there's a lot of variables.
And that's why it takes you 3 to 4 months to get through the design review board with the HOA. Inside. So obviously we did the waterfall edge. These are actually porcelain countertops, and the beauty of porcelain, you do give up a little bit of durability that you'd have with granite or quartz, but the color story, I mean, this is just a stunning piece.
No, it is. I like it.
I love it, yeah.
And I love how the color contrast, you know, it's opposite with the black veins, and then you got the other countertop is just a very dark with some light veins in
exactly.
it. It just really pops.
It does, and it's trying to really give it that custom feel.
Then what I've noticed here on this 45 that you guys actually cut on here, normally they'll try to have it the same color, but I like how it's just kind of like they buffed it out white here and filled it in.
Yeah.
Because if you look here, it kind of gives that modern look versus making it black.
I think so, yeah. I like it.
I don't know if this was on accident, but then after like looking at it, I'm like, it actually looks very clean.
It's almost like a pinstripe.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I liked it. I noticed that and I was like, this is pretty dope, actually.
Yeah, I opt for that with porcelain. Really? Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when you're doing a natural stone like a granite, I would not do that because you want to make it look as natural as possible.
Correct.
But no one's going to assume, at least I think, no one's going to assume that this is trying to look like a piece of. This is clearly what it is.
Yeah.
It's porcelain, and it's modern and clean and sleek and smooth. You know, when you run your hand over granite, you can feel the little imperfections of natural stone. So it's just a different taste. And with that, I wanted to do
as far as like durability wise, is there like any type of coating that should go on here? Or?
It's not really a coating that's going to save you. It's you just got to baby it a little bit more.
Okay.
So high temperature changes, you know, putting a boiling pot of water on it, over time you could potentially see it crack. If you do a lot of large portions and cooking with huge pots and pans, you could chip around your undermount sink. But I've seen that happen on quartz and granite too. So it has a reputation of being a little bit more temperamental. But honestly, I don't see it. I know that. So let's say we're trying to reach into this top shelf. If I wanted to get a step stool and stand on a piece of granite, I could. I wouldn't do it here because you could crack it. We did solid wood doors.
So it's solid all the way across?
This is solid wood doors. Yeah, these are solid wood.
What about the texture here?
This is
looks like
level
a nice
5
finishing.
Yeah, this is level 5, all smooth.
Can you explain a level 5 finishing?
So instead of the regular hopper with the spray, the sandy finish, or the Santa Fe style, it just is mudded, sanded, mudded, sanded. They'll sometimes even roll a thin layer of mud on it as well. So pretty much everywhere you're seeing has mud on it. And when I say mud, I mean the drywall compound that is used to fill in the gaps between drywall. So if your audience doesn't know, the drywall is going to have gaps, and then you use the mud or the compound and tape to fill in those gaps.
So obviously this is going to cost more. Can you explain the reason why would this cost more?
It's really just the labor. It's a lot more drywall compound that goes into it, first of all. So that's really the leading edge of why the cost is more, and then the manpower.
Yeah.
And then you're usually only doing this in a higher end home, so that higher end home is going to be larger. It's probably going to have higher ceilings. So your texture and finish bill is already going to be more.
What else do we have here?
So we have, this is a junior master, a junior primary. Mid build, I let him add that in, which was a little bit of a pain for plumbing, but he really wanted it. So he thought at the time he was going to move his dad into this space.
Okay.
So I let him add that. We did add this sliding door. I was just going to be a larger window. And the reason behind that, I wasn't trying to get cheap on the initial build, is that I felt like if the courtyard was all doors, it stops becoming a courtyard.
Yeah.
And it just becomes an outdoor space. And I would value a courtyard more than having access from here to the courtyard. But he did, and I let him upgrade that. And we were able to accommodate that, adding in this sliding glass door. So
now there's one thing I do want to mention, that this room, you got 10-foot ceilings, 8 foot on the doors too as well.
It's a 12 by 22 room. So it is I don't know if the camera can pick it up, it is a very large room.
Okay.
Yeah. It
now
with
your standard build with this package that we're talking about, electrical, high and low voltage, like what's included? Do you get outlets in every room?
Yeah, so definitely the flat screen pre-wires.
Yeah.
He did all the Leviton, which was not included. It was an upgrade. And it was expensive. It was about $12,000. because all the extra switches, and his whole low voltage was about $12,000.
Which is actually, that's a really good price, believe it or not.
It's literally just the cost of my electrician. The cost was the cost. I didn't margin up that cost at all.
That is a really, really good price.
Yeah, it was worth it now that I see it all together.
Yeah.
Because I've only had him and one other person actually opt to do the whole thing. I like it. I mean, it makes everything a little bit more complicated because everything's on a dimmer, and I'm not used to that because even my own home is just on-off toggle switches. But anyway, he did all that. I do like to add a lot of can lighting, especially in the larger rooms. So I would have just pre-wired for that fan and then added either a 4 or 6 pack of can lighting. Because I love lighting. So to me, if it's in a skeleton, light the hell out of that house. Because it's never going to be cheaper and easier than when it's in framing. So this is an ensuite bathroom.
So I see that
zero
you
threshold
have
shower.
Yeah, zero threshold. Then you have this LED light floating vanity.
All those are on motion sensors for the whole house for the the under cabinet lighting.
I mean, this is pretty clean. I like it.
So it gets a walk-in closet as well. The one-car garage that's kicked out to the side is on the other side of that wall. So what I'm doing is a variation of this plan, one of the other specs that hasn't even started yet. This is going to be a true next gen.
Okay.
And then that lot's wider. So all I did on that house is made it 3 cars wide and then took the existing roof structure on the floor plan, and that's a full ensuite. So this changes a little bit, but this becomes more like the living room, and that becomes the bedroom. So it'll look very similar to this.
Now on the next gen, do you get more of a value on the resale, or is it more appealing to more clients?
I think it's double. I love getting I love getting square footage where I previously didn't have square footage. I love getting what I call cheap square footage.
Yeah.
Meaning it doesn't add to the bathroom count, it doesn't add to the kitchen count, it doesn't add anything beyond the structure. The concrete slab, the finished flooring, the drywall, I mean, it changes the HVAC a little bit, but it's probably not going to tip you over into needing another condenser or anything like that. So I love the next gen spaces because they're cheap square footage.
And you're just squeezing more money out, basically.
Exactly, because really as a builder, what are you selling? Mostly square footage.
Yeah, okay.
So that particular lot, I wanted to put this home on it. I love the floor plan. It allowed for 3 cars wide, which I already think is more marketable. To have a true 3-car wide, not have that weird kicked out garage, and then to add the extra 200 square feet. So little things you can do as a builder to get the build going faster, because I already own the plans.
Yeah.
And then we're just making some modifications, and we've already built the home before, so I know exactly where I'd expect the cost to come in at. So
I know the cabinets are a little bit different here.
Yeah, so the bathroom's got a matte finish cabinet.
Okay.
So he opted for that, and then we did the white matte in here, and then the black matte in the master.
Got it.
So this all was part of his initial cabinet budget. So it's not like a Pulte or a Toll Brothers where, if you want laundry cabinets, it's this dollar amount. You have this dollar amount to spend on cabinets. How you use that is up to you. So we added a 9x8 slider, so it's 8 tall, 9 wide.
Was this the original or something that he added?
This was going to just be a bank of 3 windows, because again, with no pool, I just didn't see the need to have it.
So it looks like you got some distribute sounds,
Yep.
correct?
Yep. All those controls are in the front. So full surround sound. Has a lot of cameras everywhere. So that was all part of that low voltage package.
And what about the Wi-Fi? Is that something that comes with your build, or?
Yeah, we do the Wi-Fi repeaters.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't consider that like a smart home. I think that's a minimum. And when you're in this size range, I think that's a minimum.
Okay, got it.
This is a very large room. I think this is about 16 by 22. This is some staging furniture. He's completely moved out, so the furniture kind of gets swallowed in here. Without it, it's almost hard to envision, what the space would lay out as. So floating vanities in here.
I definitely love the floors. What type of flooring is this? This is 24 by 48, but this is porcelain too?
Porcelain, large format porcelain.
Okay. And are you starting to see this in custom home builds?
The large format stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, I think that separates what could be just another master or just another primary bathroom to a more luxurious feel. Large format obviously is a lot more expensive to lay, generally a little bit more product cost. And then the other aspect that no one talks about is if one corner gets damaged.
Yeah, it's crooked, they're all...
Right, or if it's crooked, the whole thing's all thrown off.
Yeah.
There's no way to fix it, like a 12 by 24 or a 12 by 12. But the biggest thing I see is product loss.
Yeah.
So if one gets cracked, the whole tile is now pretty much unusable. So there's just more waste. more labor. I pay about twice as much for labor for this versus like a.
Well, I mean, you got to
12 by
float
24.
it because it's such a big piece.
Right.
And like you said, if one's off, you kind of throw everything off.
You do, right.
So we got the zero threshold
So
here,
zero
black
threshold.
Schluters.
Yeah, black Schluter. This is a spa shower, rain shower head, body sprayer, wall sprayer, and that's your steam control, soap niche. I mean, it's a really spectacular shower.
Yes, it is.
Really, really nice.
This is pretty much a work of art, basically. Like, I don't even want to take a shower in here.
I know.
Because it looks so beautiful.
So pretty. I wouldn't want to mess it up.
Okay. So then we have our closet here. It looks like there was no upgrades on the closets, but you still have that option. It looks like.
And what we did is tried to give enough for somebody to have, have the closets here until they wait for closets of
Las Vegas. Thank you. See, he remembers.
I remember.
So you remember that, Pat? Remember this now.
So they can have their own. I did go ahead and try to be thoughtful and added in some power and added in as much lighting as I could just to have a nice canvas to go off of. So he chose not to upgrade this. I actually deliver it with even fewer MDF because 99% of people pull them out. Yeah. So there's no point. It's just more drywall patching. It's more labor. Yeah. It's just enough to have something here. What a lot of people do is they use another closet until this closet comes in.
You want to know what I've just seen right now, attention to detail, and I just noticed. Take a look at this right here. For the door stopper, you're not using a regular door stopper. It's just those little things I've noticed.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's very small. It doesn't cost that much, but it's just those attention to details that I don't think people really look at.
It tells you you're in a custom home.
Yeah.
That's my thought. So,
you know what? We didn't come out here to the living room because you got this fireplace. I want to talk about this for a second here.
Yeah. So
you guys just color blocked this. Didn't really throw anything into it. Huh?
Yeah, we're missing some trim that's coming, so don't judge me there.
Okay.
So yeah, all I did was an expanded hearth. This is all because you're doing level 5 drywall. It kind of acts as a nice backdrop, and I didn't feel that you had to tile it.
Okay.
And also, from a practical standpoint, once you tile it, to mount a TV, to do all those things just becomes so exponentially more difficult, right? And it doesn't really get you any different look. So I love the look. I love the color blocking. I love the expanded hearth. I did have a little area over here for your AV stuff, and it plugs from there all the way up to there.
So we've got additional storage.
Linen closet here. See, these lights are so smart. They turn off if they don't sense anyone in here. So we had all the lights on before, but...
there we go.
Yeah, there we go. So this is a lot of my staging just to give him give it some scale.
Okay.
So these are the 2 Jack and Jill bathrooms. So this bedroom, this brings us to bedroom 3 and bedroom 4. This has its own closet. The other one has a walk-in closet. They share this Jack and Jill right here. We did the floating vanities with the matte finish. And another 0 threshold. So every shower in the house is a 0 threshold shower.
I like the black and white, just the clean look.
Yeah, it's a very modern home, which is something that I'm, now acting as a listing agent, now that I no longer own the home, I do wonder if the tastes are compatible with the average demographic out here in South Shore. Because it is a lot of retirees. It is. So we'll see. So we'll be listing it next week.
So that's got to be very important then, right?
Yeah.
Based upon the demographics you're saying and where you're buying.
Right. Knowing your market.
Yeah. Michael, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity, allowing us to tour this property. But the most important question is, this home is for sale. Okay. What is the price? So
we're going to list this weekend or early next week at around $1,995.
That's not bad of a price.
Not horrible. Yes, it's not horrible.
All right. Yep. Now, if you guys are actually interested in this home, I'm going to have a link in the description below with the full details. Also, if you guys haven't had a chance to subscribe to this channel, go ahead and click that subscribe button. Other than that, till next time, peace.